Preparing, setting up to go live. And it looks like we are live.
Do you see it on YouTube?
I do.
Why don't I see it on YouTube?
Refresh and then you'll see the live button. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to another fabulous webinar by Sister Patricia Jean Hollowell and myself, illustrious Lamont Evans.
Good evening, everyone. We're going
to
have a great time. Good evening.
Turn your volume down on your iPad. To another fabulous webinar by Sister Patricia Jean Hollowell. And there we have it. You know, I did that the first time also. It's like, let me tell you a quick joke while we're waiting for people to come in, right? So okay. I was waiting for people to come on. Sister Mary Mitchell, when we did Kentucky.
Yes.
And I was like, where is that echo coming from? Then I realized, oh my God, it's my screen. I need to turn off my volume on my iPad. So yeah.
You need to turn off your own volume.
My own volume. Hey, okay.
Okay, so.
Chevelle Porter, good evening to you. Welcome to tonight's webinar. So as you are logging in, make sure you put in the chat box where you are logging in from, what state you're logging in from. And it'd be nice to know who's in the house. How was your Sunday, Sister Hollowell?
Incredible.
Okay, that's good. Mine was amazing.
Okay. Good.
So we have a few folks who are logging in.
How's your weather?
Weather here is 84 degrees in Atlanta. Yeah.
We got overcast skies. I don't think I've seen the sun all day.
Have you been outside at all today?
Of course not.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't either.
Not safe in those streets.
But who was that? Oh, Rhonda, who said, you got my mama in these Zooming streets. Yeah, she's working the Zoom. She's working the Zoom. Sister Regis Moore Lewis, good evening to Florida. Sister Diane Hinton, New Jersey. Sister Chevelle Porter is also from New Jersey. Sister Frances Burris from New Jersey. I see NJ is in the building. They are no joke. So New Jersey, no joke.
Okay, no joke.
Sister Adina Martin from Grand Rapids, Michigan. She says, Hollywood.
Hi, Dina.
She'll say good evening, Brother Evans. So I'm gonna let you speak to her.
Hi, Dina. Tell your mom hello.
Sister Chandra Williams from Tennessee Grand Joint Council, good evening. Sister Karen Folks in Florida, good evening to you. Good evening, everyone. We're going to give folks a few minutes to log in and get set up. We are excited about tonight's webinar, how to do a Google Calendar. And we believe that what we're presenting tonight is possibly going to be life-changing. It'll certainly be life-organizing for those who are overwhelmed with meetings. Sister Hollowell, are you overwhelmed with meetings?
I am. It seems that we're having more meetings now than we had when I could leave my house and go to the meeting.
But it's not costing you much now to go to meetings.
No, do you know my car has been on full for 6 weeks?
Really? You haven't moved it?
Yes, but not far.
Okay, so you back out of the driveway and drive back
Back
in.
out of the store, driveway, go half a mile to the store.
Okay.
Get some essential items.
Essential items.
And
okay.
Come right back.
Illustrious Terrence Bennett, good evening. Sister Maddie Malone Lundy, good evening. Okay, so Sister Adina Martin says she would tell her.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and she says she just loves you. She said, I just love you. She's talking about you. Sister Dina, you're not talking about me. Because you
she might be.
No, impossible.
She loves everybody, that's why.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I know. I just have to see her, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Because you've been to Grand Rapids a couple times.
Yes, I have. And I went to that grand session one year. Brother Meeks and we had a good old time.
Ate all our barbecue and fried fish.
No, didn't eat it all because I think the Grand Master was holding back some in the back room somewhere in a pan covered with Reynolds wrap.
Ah,
Sister Thomasina Sams Riddick, good evening to you. Good evening, everybody who's logging in. In about 2 minutes, we're going to get started. Sister Hollowell and I haven't seen each other in a whole 10 minutes. So we're just checking in. Oh, man. Yeah, I think this Google Calendar thing is the truth. I think that's what the young people say. It's the truth.
it's the truth. We're going to keep it 100.
We're going to keep it 100. Okay, look at you. Okay. Yes. Butler Healing Arts. Sister Valerie Butler from Detroit, Michigan, District 1.
That's right, Val. Thank you for coming.
Do y'all say D1? Is that how y'all do it?
No, we don't.
Okay.
It's just
sure.
District 1.
I'm sure somebody says D1 though.
Somebody somewhere.
Okay. Somebody somewhere, but not nobody on the call.
But not anyone in District 1.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool beans. So, you ready to get started?
Let's roll them.
Let's rock and roll. So, again, welcome everyone to tonight's webinar on how to set up a Google Calendar. Sister Hollowell and I will be presenting things to you all, and then we will be going live on Google Calendar to show you actually how to put an event on and to connect you with other calendars. So with that being said, Sister Hollowell, I'm going to share my screen.
Wonderful.
And we're going to play from start. Okay. So here we have, again, how to set up a Google Calendar, plan, schedule, organize. My name is illustrious Lamont Monty Evans, former Supreme Secretary of Education. And you are, madam?
I am Sister Patricia Hollowell, former Supreme Grand Matron.
Yay, applause. One of these days, I'm going to get the applause noise for the background.
On your phone. You can put it on your phone.
Okay.
The girls from The Real do it all the time.
Okay.
Our learning objectives tonight are to discuss the challenges with meeting fatigue. Some of us have just got too tired too soon. 4 benefits of having meetings, to review 6 general types of meetings, virtual versus face-to-face meeting benefits, share value of online scheduling, describe Google Calendar and its benefits, and provide a live view of a Google Calendar.
Okay, so let's talk about challenges of meeting fatigue. So when you think about all these clocks that are rolling around, we're trying to organize all the meetings that are happening in the IFAMM OES world. And so specifically tonight is customized for those within the IFAMM OES world. For those who view us just where you found us on YouTube, we are Fraternal Order headquartered in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. So sometimes members feel obligated to attend and are sometimes hesitant to share frustrations with so many meetings happening all at the same time. Sister Hollowell, have you ever heard, oh, I didn't know about that meeting, or I didn't get a chance to go to that meeting, or I have to log on to this call, so I have to miss that meeting? And so,
or I don't want to make a decision because I don't want to hurt her feelings by not coming to her meeting, or should I spend half my time in this meeting and half my time in the other meeting because they know I'm at home, so what am I going to do?
Right, or should you log on via your iPad to one meeting and your laptop with another meeting and your phone with another meeting? So
and you won't get anything out of any of those meetings.
Leaders can sometimes be overwhelmed with being pulled into meetings at the very last minute or every day. So it's not only that members feel obligated to attend, the leaders are sometimes overwhelmed as well. And COVID-19 has allowed what I would like to term an exploitation of our time, where it seems like we cannot miss a Zoom or virtual or conference call because it seems like we're at home. But what we have to take into consideration is we have a family, and we may have another Zoom meeting tomorrow night and the night after that, or we may have spent the day in our jobs. I know Sister Walton, our Supreme Grand Matron, spends a lot of time with her job, telecommunity, and so she's in a lot of virtual meetings. And so this has allowed sometimes a little bit overuse of virtual conference calls. Meetings are less engaging. Seems like many leaders of the meeting don't ask if we're overwhelmed. Sometimes people jump right into the meeting without asking or checking in with seeing how everyone's doing. Is everyone okay? Can we get to the specific points of tonight's meeting? But you don't want to dismiss people's time. And so there's that balance there. And then not having an agenda allows the meeting leader to go on endlessly. So that's also one of the things about meeting fatigue, Sister Hollowell, that I seem to be frustrated with from time to time is when we start a meeting, nobody knows how far we're going to go in the meeting or what we're going to discuss.
Or how long you're going to be there.
Yes.
The benefits: increased engagement and collaboration, increased accountability, a shared sense of purpose, and opportunities for personal growth. So meetings have their benefits.
Now, there are 6 general types of meetings. And so when you are planning a meeting, please be very mindful of these types of meetings so you can allow those or let those know who you're inviting to the meeting to know if it's a status update meeting that you're checking in on one specific situation and you're just doing a status update. If it's an information sharing meeting where you are just sharing information to everyone. Once you've concluded that, then the meeting is open for questions, Q&A, and then you can end the meeting. There's a decision-making meeting where you call the meeting to order and you go exactly to what the situation is or the matter is so you can make a decision and move on. Sometimes we waste a lot of times with introductions or acknowledgments, or everybody wants speaking time. Whereas when we really just need to focus on what does the decision need to be made at that meeting. Problem-solving meetings, sometimes those can get really intense because if there's a problem and emotions are connected to it, then sometimes those meetings take longer than others. But if you start off with prayer and everybody keeps an even tone voice, I believe whatever problem you're working to solve would definitely be solved in one meeting. Innovation meeting. So here's a meeting where you begin to discuss new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of doing things, and you discuss how can you make the department, the entity, the convention or whatever more innovative and more engaging. And then 6, you have team building, department building, or entity building meetings. And that's where you're bringing a skill or a specific set of skills to a particular department or a team or entity, and you're building that with them. So these are the 6 general types of meetings.
There are several benefits to having virtual meetings. They're cost effective. There's no travel required. Virtual communications lets you talk to members, even if they are on different work schedules and on different time zones. We have several members that call from their jobs, or they call from their car, or they're otherwise engaged, but they still make time to join the virtual call. The other benefits of virtual meetings are allowing for sharing of a broad amount of information simultaneously. Virtual communication lets you connect on video where everyone can see one another. Everybody's looking at one another and communicating at the same time. Increased productivity and efficiency and accountability. Generally speaking, virtual meetings don't have a lot of feedback. You don't have a lot of sidebars and other conversations going on during that type of meeting. So it produces efficiency and accountability because you can account for everybody's time.
Okay. So the benefits of face-to-face meetings. So we have identified 5 tips here. Is one, it gives everyone a chance to understand body language. Sometimes you can read a person's response about a particular subject matter or topic based on their body language. Also, a benefit is that it helps to make focusing easier on topics or issues discussed. Sometimes you can go all over the board when you're online virtually, and sometimes in a face-to-face meeting, but you can focus easier on topics or issues discussed when you're face-to-face, because somebody can go like this and say, don't forget, we're on a time limit and we need to wrap this up or be very timely. You can actively see everyone's level of focus in the conversation. And when you know someone is engaged, you can communicate easier with that person because you can see that they're engaged. Sometimes in virtual meetings, we lose it, especially if you have a lot of people on the screen and you have to swipe left or swipe right to see the all the individuals on the virtual conference. Another benefit is that it assists in building personal relationships with members, where leaders are able to reassure them with a touch or a facial expression, which can help you gain their trust. Sometimes when you go over and touch someone on the shoulder, or when you actually shake someone's hand, well, now we shouldn't be shaking hands. We can do the elbow bump or the foot tap or greeting, but you can still reassure an individual when you're in their presence, more so when you're not. And then you help to develop transparency, is that when you're meeting face-to-face, you can actually share information where people can feel like they trust you and they know you because you're being fully transparent, whereas sometimes you can hide behind a conference call or you can hide behind a video camera.
How we can manage all these meetings is by using a Google Calendar. And oh yes, it's free. Sometimes we have work calendars, we have personal calendars, we have organizational calendars. You can't function well with things in several different places. What am I supposed to do today? Well, you looked at your work calendar and it was free. You looked at your organizational calendar and it was free, but you forgot that personal birthday that you were supposed to acknowledge. So we're going to show you how to put all those calendars together.
Now, I will give you a tip already that Sister Hollowell gave me yesterday or the day before yesterday. Is now, thanks to you, Sister Hollowell, I have an alarm on my phone set for 10:30 at night to review tomorrow's calendar of events. So I know any meetings. So instead of trying to keep it in my head, because even though I got a big head, I can't keep everything there. I now have my reminder set in my phone where I open up tomorrow's calendar and see what's going on. So thank you very much for that tip.
It's so good to know what you have to do in the morning tonight before in the morning comes. Oh, I forgot that 10 o'clock meeting.
Yes. So let's talk about the benefits of a Google Calendar. Sister Hollowell, would you like to share that? While I drink some water.
Okay, Google Calendars allows you to easily share all or only part of your calendar with family, friends, co-workers, and members. So if you don't want them to see your whole calendar, it's okay. You can let them see the part that's relevant to them. Access calendars anywhere with an internet connection, either on your phone, on your laptop, or the hotel lobby on their computer. You can attach documents and invitations to calendar events. Also with Google, what I found is the attachment of larger documents is easier than with Yahoo. Yahoo limits me, but Google will let me convert it to Google Drive and send it out. It enables you to coordinate meeting dates and times with others using Google Calendar with its Find a Time feature. Sometimes if you want to meet up with a group of 4 or 6, you want to check everybody's calendar and make sure it's free. You find a time that's free on all 4 calendars. It gives you locations and maps and can be attached to a calendar event. So whenever we get back to going places, if you have on your calendar that you're going to Dr. Treetop's office, When I get in my car, it tells me that Dr. Treetop's office is 15.5 miles away and I will arrive at 10:45.
Mhm.
So that's because that map and that location are attached to that date on the calendar. It includes a fast search feature, and it also lets you sync with other scheduling tools. So there's some other tools that you use to schedule, and you can sync that with your Google Calendar.
Now, some additional benefits for the Google Calendar is it can be managed by multiple individuals. And so we'll talk about that once we get into the nitty gritty of the scheduling event process. On the Supreme level, there's one Supreme Google Calendar. So if you go to internationalmasons.org/calendar.html, if you're on two devices, you can do that. I think unless you have YouTube Premium, when you close YouTube to try to open up another window, you're going to end the live and you're going to have to relog back in. So I would encourage you all to either open up another device, let's say a laptop or an iPad or your phone if you're not on your phone, and go to the Supreme website and go to this link specifically, which is what we deem the Supreme Google Calendar. We are also suggesting for individuals to develop a national district calendar and that you coordinate all of your national district events and activities on that one calendar for your national district, that you perhaps coordinate a grand calendar for your state. Sometimes there are multiple things happening in the state on the grand level that individuals need to know about. And if you have a grand calendar, which you can share via email, and you'll see that feature that we're going to show tonight, individuals will be able to know what's happening on the grand level and a local entity calendar. And so one of the things with my lodge, there are different events that happen throughout the year. And so if we have a fellowship night, that can be put on the local entity calendar. If you have a Bible study or a bingo, you have multiple events that are happening in your local entity, all that can be put on the local entity's calendar, Google Calendar, which does not have to be shared on the grand or national district level. And so we are suggesting those different levels of Google Calendars. Ideally, the secretary or an administrative assistant can be the creator and shared with others. What we are emphasizing is, because we are in the new normal, is that realize that we're all learning new things. So allow grace when working with individuals who are making mistakes. Sister Hollowell and I did not wake up one morning and know all that we know now about Google Calendar. We've had to take the time to invest to learn the various features. There's still a lot that I haven't learned about the dynamics of a Google Calendar, but for the purpose or for the sake of knowing where I'm going, attaching documents or information to an event, being invited to other events, all of those features are what I'm familiar with and I do utilize with Google Calendar.
If it's not scheduled, it may not happen. If you want to be more productive, you need to become a master of your minutes. And I think people have heard me say this time and time again. It's the 2 minutes here and the 3 minutes there and the 4 minutes over there that causes us to lose hours and days.
You know what vital lesson you taught me a long time ago, Sister Hollowell?
Was that when we were struggling through the desert trying to get to the other side of the road?
No, that's when we were swimming in the ocean.
Oh, okay. What?
Canal. So you said we were somewhere in a convention and I said, we're losing time. And someone said, oh, we'll just make up for the time somewhere else. And you know your response when somebody says that, right?
Of course.
Yeah, you can't make up time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, and so be very mindful of how you schedule and use your time, because once it's gone, if you're not a master of your minutes, you will become a slave to them and you'll always be behind.
Amen.
So, Sister Hollowell, are you ready to go to Google Calendar?
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing temporarily.
Okay.
And then I'm going to open up
Google Calendar
on my computer. That's right.
Okay.
So thank you for your patience, ma'am.
So those of you that want to do this, you can do an instant replay or a tomorrow replay or whenever you want to replay. And you can follow along with how to get this done on your devices.
Okay. I have it open.
Okay, I want to see it.
Share again.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, can you see my calendar?
Ooh, it's so little.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I have a very large screen.
Okay, well, I can see the calendar, but I
Okay,
have no idea where you're going and when you need to be there.
okay. I'm waiting for YouTube to show me. Okay, yeah,
YouTube is showing it to you.
it's big on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have here is the international calendar. So for those who have not had a chance to go to international, you can visit the calendar by going to internationalmasonsagain.org/calendar. And what you're going to see on the International Masons page is, of course, our standard header. And if you want to get to it through the menu, you can go by convention calendar, scroll all the way down, and you'll see Google Calendar there, or you can type it in directly. And here is the International Masons calendar. And can I do a shameless plug for Tuesday night, Sister Hollowell?
Oh, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. So for those who have participated in any IFAMM Cares events in the past, please inbox me or contact me because we like to feature those past participants of the IFAMM Cares Community Service Initiative. But that's on the calendar. So now, let me get my cheat sheet out, Sister Hollowell, because I want to walk folks through on how to create a calendar. So as you can see, because this is International Masons, in the top right, I have the icon and the email account for International Masons and Eastern Stars, IFAMMOES@gmail.com. So for this specific email account, and what we suggest individuals to do is, if you don't have an International Masons or IFAMM Gmail account where you only do your Masonic or Eastern Star business on a specific Gmail account, then we encourage individuals to create a Gmail account specifically to use just for International Masons and Eastern Stars business. Now, when it comes to creating a calendar, you can go here to the top left and you can click on, that's create an event, I'm sorry. So you would go here to other calendars and you would click on add other calendars. Either subscribe to a calendar, create a new calendar, browse calendars of interest, or from a URL, or if someone sends you a calendar that you want to import, either from, let's say, your iPhone or your another app, as Sister Hollowell talked about earlier with syncing other calendar tools, you can do that all in here. What we've done is we've already created the International Masons, International Freedom Center Modern Masons Incorporated, or the Eastern Star, what we call the master calendar. Now, when you are ready to add an event, and so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the view. So right now, I have my cheat sheets, Sister Hollowell, so if I'm missing anything, let me know, okay?
Okay.
So I have in the top right, you can look at the various views of your calendar. You can click on the day view where you can see what's happening today. As you can see, Sister Hollowell and I have the how to set up Google Calendar on the calendar from 7 to 8:30, and we provided YouTube live streaming. If you double click on it, you're able to see a description. This is a webinar that will provide members with an understanding on how to set up a Google Calendar and understands its value in planning multiple meetings to avoid conflict. Then we provide the link to the YouTube page for individuals. Now here where you see notification is, I got an alert. I don't know, did you get an alert, Sister Hollowell, 30 minutes prior?
I did.
Okay, so I set an alert on here that you receive a alarm or a notification saying, hey, YouTube live streaming is starting in 30 minutes. It also tells you here via this email address who scheduled this meeting. And at the top, you see the date and the time. And because I'm in the Eastern time zone, I clicked on time zone. You can see the various time zones. Now, one of the interesting things about scheduling this meeting is for an individual who is in the Central Standard Time Zone, it's going to come up as 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And so it's going to adjust to whatever time zone you have set your calendar to. So just know that. Also, if you want to add individuals, let's say you want to invite several people to this calendar or to this event, you just click on add guests and put their email in there. I would suggest if you're going to just invite others, you click on this button. And if you want others to see the guest list, you can check on this box. Now, there are also more actions. Of course, you can print this particular event because we remember we're reviewing only an event detail, not the entire calendar, because there's a feature where you can print the entire calendar for that month. You can delete the event, you can duplicate it for another time, and of course, we've already published the event. Anything you think I should cover on this, Sister Hollowell, as far as the event itself?
Did you show the month view and the day view?
Okay, I'll go back to that. And so we're going to discard any unsaved changes. So again, in the top right, you have the day option view. You can do it by the week to see what's coming up on the particular week. You can do it by the month to see what's happening in the entire month of May or whatever month you're in. You can also do it by the year. And so it will lay out the entire year in case you want to zoom in on anything. And so for the purpose of demonstration, Sister Hollowell, I'm going to go to July the 11th. Do you know what happens on July 11th?
July 11th, I think we're going to be on our way to, or already in Herndon, Virginia for the Supreme Convention.
Yes. And so what I've already done is I've already populated that on the calendar so that people can see 2020 IFAMM OES 70th Supreme Convention. We have the dates for those who don't know, Saturday in, Saturday out. So we always come in on a Saturday for Supreme, and we always leave out on a Saturday at Supreme. And so what I've done is in the description for this, I've also put the location. So you can go directly to the hotel link that is in the description for the Supreme Convention. You can also, it will tell you to go to the Supreme website to download the various information and materials for the site, for the convention. Going back to this, I have the alarm set the day before at 9 a.m. and 2 weeks before. So this is to trigger me to make sure that I begin to pack and do everything I need to do to prepare for the Supreme Convention. So that gives you a year view. I'd like to go back to month view, Sister Hollowell, is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I should show you the schedule. And so one of the great things about the schedule is you can view the schedule and see all of the meetings that are actually on your calendar, scheduled date by date. And I thought that was a great feature for those who are looking to see what's coming up. And now this is for July, but if we come back to, let's say, May, which in the top left, you'll see I'm in the calendar feature over here in May, and I want to look at the month of May. We're in May, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, okay. So for the month of May, you will see that it shows you what we're doing today, what's happening on Tuesday, what's happening at the Memorial Day holiday. Now, if you don't want to see holidays in the United States, in the bottom left where it says other calendars, you can deselect that and it will remove all the other calendars that are on your screen for holidays and just show you what you actually have on your calendar. So now let's go to how to create an event. We're going to go back to month view, and at the top left, you're going to see create. And if anyone has a question, please be sure to type it into your comment box. We want to welcome the Grand Matron for Texas, Grand Master for Georgia, who just asked the question, Grand Master for North Carolina, Sister Cynthia Brown from Birmingham, Alabama, Sister Tawana Green Edmond from Atlanta, Sister Shalandra Wright, Brother Billy Washington, Sister Krishana Freeman, Brother Fred Foster. Welcome to you all. And Grandmaster Terry, give me just a second and I'll show you how we can add the international calendar to yours. Because if you log in, well, I'll answer it right now. If you log into your Gmail account, you go to google.com/calendar. At the bottom right where you see the plus sign by other calendars, you can go and add international calendar. And so what you would do is you would go and copy the URL for it. And I'll go through that process, but let me go with how to create an event first. So you want to click on the top left. And Sister Hollowell, what event should we add to the calendar?
Let's add our June schedule.
Okay.
June the 11th.
Okay. So IFAMM OES virtual chat. What is it? What's the subject?
So that's not going to be a virtual chat. That's going to be essentials.
Okay.
Essential leadership skills.
Okay. So that's going to be on June 11th, right?
At 8 o'clock.
Okay. So again, if you're watching this, you go in and type in the event. She said the event is June the 11th at 8 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
What time will it end?
9:30.
Okay. So we're going to click on 9:30. And where will it be?
It will be on, let's
Facebook?
see. Is that going to be on Facebook?
Yes, that'd be Facebook. So we would do, or if it's skill building, we would do it on YouTube, right?
YouTube.
Okay. So under location, we'll click on www.youtube.com/c/INTL Masons. This is the link to the YouTube page. And so a brief description of this webinar will be presented by...
In 2 parts.
Okay.
Okay, no, okay.
I put it's a 2-part series.
Right.
Okay.
And I need you to change the date. Let's show them how easy it is to change the date.
Okay.
We're going to change it to June the 4th.
Okay. So again, you just go in, click on the date, and there it is. You change it. Now we can go to more option. Now, as Sister Hollowell said, this is a 2-part series. So when you click on more options, it allows you to go in and here it is, does not repeat. Well, this does repeat. This repeats weekly on Thursday, but it has an end time. So we're going to customize that, and it's only going to repeat for 1 week. So it ends on June
11th.
And then it's done. So then we already have the description. We want to add, how far in advance do we want to be alerted about this, Sister Hollowell? A day or 2?
We want to be alerted about this a whole week in advance.
Okay.
Because it's so important. And you got that holiday week coming there. People may get lazy. So
okay. So we're going to do 1. And the great thing is you can click on this and it gives you a drop down menu of minutes, hours, days, or weeks. And so we want a notification 1 week. I'd like to have a notification.
And then don't you get a second notification?
You can add as many notifications as you want.
Okay, so then you're going to get another notification 1 day before.
1 day before, and I'm going to add 1 more. I'm going to add
hour before.
2 hours.
2 hours before. Okay.
Because I know how you are.
Okay.
So now you see, this is, we have created an event. We've dated it for June the 4th, we've told it to repeat only one time. Sister Hollowell is already a member of this calendar. So all I need to do is click on save. And if we go to June, the month of June, you'll see there it is. June the 4th and June the 11th is essential leadership skills. So now I'm going to ask, because Sister Hollowell is also sharing this calendar, I'm going to ask Sister Hollowell to create the leadership, the training that we're going to do on.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to have you do that.
Okay.
Because I'm on my laptop and I did not realize I was not going to be able to enlarge this.
Okay, no problem.
For me to see.
Okay, so if you want to create an event, just like I said, you can click on top left for create, or you can actually click on the day.
Go to create.
Okay.
And now you go ahead.
So now we're going to do create the event. This is what
conflict resolution.
Okay. So we'll be offering a conflict resolution 101, right?
Correct.
On June the 18th?
Correct.
8 o'clock to 9:30?
Correct.
Okay. And we're going to be doing it on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. So the good thing about adding in the location is for members who are trying to figure out where to go to participate, if they have the calendar already added to their system, then they can just go to that date and click on it. And when they click location, they can click on the link and go directly to the webinar. And so for this, we're going to share conflict resolution strategies, right?
Conflict resolution skills.
Okay.
Skills
to resolve issues that may arise in a meeting between members and leaders. Okay, and we can go back and change this. One of the other things is we're going to put presented by, and the reason why I'm a fan of putting presented by, Sister Hollowell, is because where this is the Supreme calendar, another department may come along and do something, right?
Okay.
So you want to see from the event who's presenting or who's doing that particular event, so you'll know if you're supposed to be in it or not. Because if it's a Supreme Department leader, you may or may not be involved with that. Now, another thing about the description, which is really important to remember, is that if you have any specific details regarding the event, you want to put it in the description. So you want to lessen the amount of calls that you get for an event by putting everything in the description. And so we're going to do a notification 1 week. So Hollowell likes 1 week. And of course, I like, what is it, 1 day? Was it 1 day?
1 day.
1 day, and then we're going to do 2 hours, right?
2 hours.
Okay, 2 hours. So for this event, we have 3 notifications. This does repeat, but it's going to be a custom repeat, because remember, it's going to repeat once every week on Thursday, but it's going to end on the following Thursday. So you're just going to end it on June the 25th. You're going to click done there. Sister Hollowell is already a part of the calendar ecosystem, and so she can manage, change, or share this. And so I don't need to invite her to it. And we're going to click save. And so if we go back to month view for the month of June, there you have it, the essential leadership skills and the conflict resolution and the times that is going to happen. Now, is there anything else I need to cover on creating an event, Sister Hollowell?
Yes, you need to go into the 25th and you want to change that 101 to 201.
Okay. And now, interesting. So you see, when I went to change the event, it prompted me to say, do I want to edit the recurring event, this event only, this and the following events that come afterwards, or all events? And all I want to do is edit this event. So I will click OK. If you put your mouse over it, you'll see there is 201 here. Click here, there is 101. I think we need to do the same for the leadership skills, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to edit this. I double click generally to open up a calendar event. This is going to be Essential Leadership Skills 101. We're going to save it and we're going to edit it, recurring event for just this event.
Just that.
Then for the 11th, we're going to double click on there. We're going to put in 201. We're going to save, and we want to edit the recurring event only for this event. So now when you go to the International Masons page and you view the calendar either on your phone, you can view it on your tablet, you can view it on your laptop. It resizes for the device that you're viewing it on. You'll see what we have planned for Thursday. Now, anything else?
That's it.
Brother Fred Foster says, does Yahoo stop me from performing any of these functions? Are you talking about a Yahoo calendar or a Google calendar? Because I'm not familiar with the Yahoo calendar, Brother Foster. We're in the Google or Gmail ecosystem right now that we're talking about. And so
he can link his Yahoo calendar to Google.
Okay. And he would go down here to other calendars, right?
Other calendars and link it, but it will now become a Google calendar that all the information is linked to. So whatever you currently have in your Yahoo calendar will now be in your Google calendar.
Okay. Now also to answer Grandmaster Terry question as far as how do you add the international calendar? When you go to International Masons and we can do it here. When you go to International Masons calendar, you're going to see, let's see, there's a way. I would have to.
Don't you want to be in settings maybe?
Well, here's the calendar. So, okay, so that's how you do it. Hey, we're learning real time. So Grandmaster, you go down to the bottom and you see where it says add to Google Calendar. So in the bottom right of the calendar on the International Masons page, you would click on Google Calendar and you see when you hover over the plus sign, it says add to Google Calendar. And you just click on add to Google Calendar and it's going to add it to your current set of calendars and it will show under other calendars. And so because we're already in the International Masons calendar, it won't add it because it's the master calendar already. So let's talk about sharing the calendar. And so if you want to add other individuals to manage the calendar or you want other individuals to share it, you would go to the calendar and you would click on the three dots. And there you will see a button titled Settings and Sharing. You simply click on this. We provided a description of the calendar. It shares with you everything about the calendar, how to add stuff to the calendar. You can just email or call me. Shows you what time zone I'm in, the email address that it belongs to, and we made the calendar public. Now, you can see IFAMM OES at gmail.com is the owner. Sister Hollowell is Star Power. Star Power. Now I know I'm saying power with an A, but it's actually ER. But it's Star Power, PJH at gmail.com. And she can make changes and manage sharing because she has full access to adding events and everything like that. Some people, you just want them to make changes to events. Some people, you just want them to see all the event details. You don't want to allow them to change any events, and you don't want to allow them to manage any sharing. And then you want some people to just see only, free, busy, you can hide those details. And so I would suggest if it's a calendar that multiple national district leaders are working to input to, or multiple grand officers, let's say for the state of Georgia, since my Grandmaster's on, Grandmaster Terry, Grand Matron March, we have the Grand Sovereign of Stars, Grand Sovereign of Masons, we have the Grand Commander-in-Chief, all of the grand department leaders can be added to make changes to events. That means they can add to the calendar. And so they're able to see what other events are conflicting with theirs. And so this is where when states, and Sister Hollowell, I guess the question is, do all states develop master calendars for the year?
I wish they would. We have tried to institute that for years, because if you have a master calendar, then you don't have to worry about anybody stepping on somebody else's date.
Okay.
And before Google Calendar, or before we started using these type things, the calendar would be set, say, in December, and then come a date, let's say the first Saturday in June, there's 2 meetings going on.
Okay.
Well, one person had their meeting on the calendar and the other person just wanted to use that date. Google Calendar will allow that second person to see that date's not available.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So we would encourage you, if you have a national district calendar, master calendar, where you have all of the grand sessions for the national district and any national district meetings, that you use this. I would encourage Supreme Department leaders to reach out and either emailing me an event that you would like added on the calendar, because we want to make sure that people have a go-to resource for meetings, whereas you're not sending out a lot of emails or you're not texting and trying to communicate with individuals, because we have a one source stop. And so on this page also, you can go down to event notifications. So there's a standard event template for a notification 30 minutes. If you want to add additional notifications, you can do it here. You can also change how you get other notifications. So for any event that's added to the calendar, there's an email sent out. Any changes to any events, an email is sent out. Any canceled events or event responses, an email goes out, and I get a daily agenda and everybody who's on the calendar email list, as far as those who are participants in sharing the calendar, they get a daily agenda with everything going on for that event. And so down here, this is how you would share the calendar. If you look here and see, for those who have their own state or national district websites or web pages, or those who may decide to do this for their organization, their family, or their community, down here, if you have a website, you can actually embed the calendar on your website. And this is the actual feature that we use on the International Masons Supreme calendar. I took this code, I had to modify it a little to make sure that it resized what is called responsive, and allowed folks to be able to view it on the page. And so I use this in the web design coding. And if you want to remove the calendar and just delete it, you can do that there. And so, Sister Hollowell, is there anything else under settings that you feel I need to cover?
That's it for settings. I did want to mention that all of your actions are real time. It's already there. Mm-hmm. There's no waiting for a download, upload, export, import. I just went to my phone and the changes we made are already on my Google Calendar on my phone.
And that is one of the great things about the Google ecosystem, as they call themselves, I think the Alphabet company, Alphabet Incorporated. Did you know they changed their name from Google to Alphabet?
No.
Yeah, they changed it because there's so many tools and resources that they have in the Google ecosystem. They call themselves Alphabet Incorporated.
Okay.
And so the last thing I have is multiple calendars and other calendars versus my calendar. And so on the left side, as you can see, we have International Masons calendar. If a if a national district created a calendar, we could add that to the calendar for me to review. Now, it doesn't add it to the International Masons calendar. The only thing you're going to see on the Supreme calendar is Supreme events put in by those who share or manage the calendar. But in my portfolio of calendars to the left, I can easily add other state national district calendars or other calendars that are pertinent to International Masons, because this is my International Masons Gmail account. And so I want to make sure that any other calendars are added there. Now, Sister Hollowell, that is all I have for the online view of the Google Calendar system. Have I forgotten anything?
Did we mention that you need to have a Gmail account?
We didn't. We kind of quasi did, because for those who, in order to participate in any Google product or service, you have to have a Gmail account. So just like with, I think YouTube requires you to have a Gmail account in order to log in, because of course, Google owns YouTube and the channel system and all that, the International Masons channel. In order to get the Gmail to do the calendar, there are multiple things that you can do. If you click in the top right here, you can see you have Google My Business, International Masons. We have a Google business page. The reason why people are able to find us on our page is because of the Google business. I see this comment here. I'll take care of that. But you can see on average, right? So people search. We have our hours. People search for International Masons. 2.7 thousand individuals search for the page. This is performance over the past 28 days. So within the last 28 days, individuals have viewed the Google business page. They've searched for International Masons or some facsimile thereof 2,290 times. And then of all the activity on the Google activity page, 9,000 devices. And so it only counts your phone one time. So you can visit the Google business page 100 times, but it will only count your device one time. So this is 9,000 different devices that have gone to the Google International Masons Google business page. And you'll see these are pictures that we upload and all of that. And so that's part of the Google system. Here you have, of course, now this is a phenomenal feature that Google just added, I think within the last 2 weeks or a month, is that they have what is called Google Meet, Sister Hollowell. So it's like Zoom, but you can have up to 100 individuals within the Google Meet system, and you all can have a virtual conference in Google Meet. And then, of course, you get a Google Drive, any shopping you want to do. I have Google Duo on my phone because individuals who don't have an iPhone, you can't FaceTime them. So I use Google Duo for those who have Samsung. And so, of course, with a Gmail account, you can access your Google Duo. And of course, Google owns Chrome. They own all of these things. Google Documents, if somebody sends you a Microsoft Word document, Google Sheets for Microsoft Excel documents. There's a whole ton of stuff that you can utilize in the Google ecosystem. And even if you see here, it says more from Google. There's just so much more that you can do with Google with all of the products and services that they have. Of course, they can translate different web pages, Chromecast for those who have a Chromecast. Sister Hollowell, I don't know if you know that if you attach the Chromecast to your flat screen or your smart TV, you take your phone, whatever you're looking at on your phone, you can broadcast
mirror it on the TV.
On the TV through Chromecast. And so, yeah, I would encourage you, if you don't know the benefits and value of a Gmail account, then I would encourage you to definitely utilize this. So now, going back to the calendar, I think that's it for now. Fred Foster asked, do we get any college credit for this tutorial? Well, I'm going to give you the credit right now. Consider you credited.
Soon as his tuition is paid, he'll get the credit.
I'll pay your tuition for this tutorial, Brother Fred Foster. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and we're going to go back to our presentation, because I think we opened it up for questions, right?
Couple more slides. Did we have a couple more slides?
We did. So our next slide is
for the
you there. Yeah, you. Do you have any questions? And so, Sister Barbara Mochi, Princess Barbara Mochi, Supreme Queen Bathsheba has chimed in. Thank you very much for your comment. She says, great. And so we want to allow anyone who has questions to ask them now, Also, you can contact Sister Hollowell at pjhollowell@internationalmasons.org. And you can contact me at Monty at internationalmasons.org. Sister Hollowell and I was joking, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, about the free government cheese smile. And so,
yesterday, anybody out there got any government cheese?
right, slide it our way. Because when I was a child, that was the best grilled cheese sandwiches you can make when you're at home. And you said you can make macaroni and
the
cheese.
best macaroni and cheese. You get yourself, find somebody with some government cheese, and all you needed was half a block.
Yeah, half a block, but you had to stand in the line and wait for it. I remember having to stand because we got peanut butter and what is it, honey and cheese.
And powdered milk.
And powdered milk, that's right, because we're both Midwestern. And so, yeah, I don't know if they did that in the South. But anyway, Brother Joshua Feliciano says, when do you plan on teaching your members about the rules of regularity? Thank you for that question, Brother Joshua. I think we do a good job now of teaching them about regularity, and we're going to bid you a good evening. And so, are there any other questions that individuals have?
Is that silence? Or we're waiting for them to
consent, right? Okay, so with that being said, Sister Howell, I think we have reached the 8:04 mark. We don't want to take up a lot of time on Sunday evenings. We know that everyone.
And what are you doing? What are you doing on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, that is good. So on Tuesday, for those who have participated in the IFAMM Cares presentation in your community via your lodge or chapter, your grand lodge or your grand chapter, please reach out to me, because we would like to feature some entities that have done presentations on the IFAMM Cares to show the importance and value of IFAMM Cares as a community service initiative. And of course, on Thursdays at 8 o'clock, this Thursday at 8 o'clock, what do we have down, Sister Hollowell?
This Thursday at 8 o'clock.
This Thursday, 8 o'clock is the 21st. Oh, so, okay, so I haven't confirmed with that Supreme Department yet.
Right.
So I want to announce it. But as soon as I confirm with that Supreme Department, we'll be doing a virtual chat with another Supreme Department, and we're going to start going on a tour of various Supreme Departments. And with that being said, we're going to wish everyone a good night.
Good night. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for showing up.